Harlingen all will have games which we can bring live video coverage for our football games. For our fans on Friday, we got 7 systems I'm going to have in play. Jacob will be on the call at one of those. So we're still trying to take a look at exactly which direction we're going to send him. Spike across by Maddox, carries out of bounds, and a point for McAllen Memorial. We'll be at Sharyland, at Los Fresnos, at La Feria, at Sam's, at PSJA, at Lyford, and at Mission. And then on Saturday, we'll be back at Sam's Stadium. 13 football games coming your way on Real Sports Live this week alone. Rattlers get that over. Mustangs with a 1-point lead, trying to build on that. This is Jocelyn Fernandez. In the net called on Sharyland, and a point to McAllen Memorial. Jacob Young joins us. Jacob, tell the fans a little bit about your travels as far as, where'd you go to school? Where'd you graduate from as far as the high school level? And, when did you get bit by the bug of wanting to be a broadcaster?
Man, ever since I was really a kid, I really wanted to do journalism, and I was into sports and things like that. Graduated from McAllen Memorial, was able to take journalism throughout the whole years up there in McAllen Memorial. So I can say I'm a bit experienced in this level as well, and still willing to learn for sure.
When did you first get bit by the bug that said, hey, I want to do this?
The first time really was, ever since I was a kid, but I guess really the main part was when people, of course, asked you, what do you want to do for a living and things like that. And then I knew that I wasn't good at sports, so I said right around high school, why not try this journalism thing out? It turns out I'm not too bad at it.
We're happy to have him on board. That's Jacob Young. Quick timeout. Right back after this.
Hi, we're the Lady Wildcats, and thank you for watching Real Sports Live. Hi, we're Edinburgh Cougars, and thank you for watching Real Sports Live.
Bring it back here after that timeout. Sharyland Rattlers at home, trailing by 3 here in Game 3 of this best of 5. They'll have to dig deep to beat this Memorial team, as McAllen Memorial will not let off. They'll just keep pressuring you, trying to wrap this thing up in 3 quick games. Tip across by the Rattlers. Good pass by Silva. High set middle. Fernandez tips it over the blockers. Nice coverage that time by Camille Vargas to get over and get that. Maddox from the back row hits that just out of bounds. And a point scored. There's some rain moving around the area. I'm not sure if that's what's affecting our internet right now, but I do know we've dropped and came back on a couple of times on Facebook. We're at the mercy sometimes of the elements as we try to get these broadcasts on a successful mission. That serve goes out of bounds. Point for Sharyland, and the Rattlers, Roxana Garcia, steps back to the service line. Meanwhile, over at Harlingen South tonight, Alex Espinoza on the call over there. Tonight, Bert Ruiz on the camera. I'm Joe Bowling. J.R. Gully was joining me here for a little bit, and also right now being joined by Jacob Young. Jacob, one of our new broadcasters up and coming through the ranks. Fans asked me, throughout the weekend, hey, who were the new guys that you had out there? And I was like telling them a little bit about them. And I was like, hey, I can remember. It's been a long time, but I can remember when I first put the headsets on. And it's, as we introduce these guys to you, the fans out there, let me give you a little heads up. It's one thing to call 1 or 2 plays. It's one thing to call the best play or to recall a play after it's happened. But to put a headset on and go live, and then when every word you're saying is real time, there's no pause, there's no edit, there's no go back and make sure it's right. Tough chore to do, so I applaud anyone that steps up and puts a microphone on and gives it a whirl. 12-7 the score as the Mustangs serve it. Rattlers with a high set on a back set this time. Tip just over the net, point scored, and how about the English on that ball by Mariana Martinez. Martinez to serve again. Deep serve played by the Mustangs. High back set this time. Silva tries to put it away, but Martinez is there to dig it, but no one there after the pass. Point scored. Okay, so we've talked a little college football. Who is your favorite college football team? You can say it. It's okay.
Yeah, Texas A&M University. My parents graduated from that school, and of course don't exactly know when they graduated from, but they did. And funny story about that, actually, my sister decided, you know what, instead of going to Texas A&M, let me go to Austin and go to Texas. So that's where she's at the moment, so she'll graduate from there. And that's going to be fun. But for sure, yeah, Texas A&M University, have been there since I was like
So has she come home wearing that orange-colored looking stuff that comes from the University of Texas?
Exactly, yeah, she's come home wearing that orange, that ugly orange as we like to call it in our household.
Spike off the block, played back on the Rattlers side as Sharyland down by 6 now. Spike on the back row by Yamina Chapa, played by the Memorial Mustangs. Here's Silva. Chapa there to dig that again. A high set this time. They're looking for Espinoza. Puts it away. Espinoza on the kill. 5-point game. Rattlers to serve it up again. Fans, again, reminding you that on Thursday we do have a high school football scheduled from Sam's Stadium, as it'll be Edinburgh Vela taking on the Hannah Golden Eagles. Also have a game scheduled from La Villa, from La Jolla, from PSJA Stadium, and from Harlingen. And then on Friday, our System 1 will have McAllen Memorial Mustangs taking on the Sharyland Rattlers. There's a kill by Silva, right down and in. Point score for Memorial. Silva reached back for a little extra on that. Now Natalie Silva rotates back to serve. Short serve over, played by the Rattlers. Off the net, Tristan Maddox punches that over. Punched up in the air, set it up over for Bianca Ramirez. Blocked back at you, point Rattlers of Sharyland. Substitution to check in the game for the Lady Rattlers as Camille Vargas will enter the game. She'll step back to the service line. Rotating to the front row is Marissa Jones, stays up there with Tristan Maddox. This is the big 1-2 punch right now at the net for the Rattlers. Coming right back at you. A kill attempt that time by Silberman. Maddox has to ease that over. Free ball for the Mustangs. Set it across the net, and this is going to be a kill attempt, and it's going to be off the Rattlers. Point scored for the Mustangs. NFL, you got any NFL teams you like, Jacob Young?
NFL teams I like, well, I am a fan of the New York Jets. It's kind of a long story. I used to root for as well because, you know, Texas A&M have been somewhat of a, just kind of, they've been on a not so great streak, and they're finally coming back up the ranks because their foundation wants to spin now. So I was a fan of Mark Sanchez back in the day, and he got drafted by the Jets, and then when he got drafted by the Jets, I became a fan of them.
7-point lead. So that is how a guy from Texas becomes a Jet fan. He follows a quarterback from the state of Texas. Back after this.
Start the new year off right. Alpha Men's Primary Care wants to remind all men it's time for your annual physical. Call to schedule an appointment. It's about the body, mind, and emotion. Stop feeling sluggish, having no energy, or being stressed. Alpha Men's Healthcare believes in a holistic approach to your overall health. Even if you have low testosterone, diabetes, high blood pressure, or gained weight, let Alpha Men's Primary Care help you increase your energy, stamina, endurance, and quality of life. Start feeling young again. Alpha Men's Primary Care is changing the way men's healthcare is done.
Coming back here after the timeout, want to remind fans the next big event in the city of San Benito is the South Texas Music Festival on Saturday, September 21st, 4 to 11 o'clock. Lots of fun, lots of music, and lots of excitement on the Bowie Street Memorial Park. South Texas Music Festival. San Benito, one of our sponsors, the EDC. Point scored by the Mustangs, and they go up by 8 now. Rattlers, that's the biggest deficit they've faced in this game. That's 2 hits called on the Rattlers. And McAllen Memorial now up 19-10. Want to remind you again, volleyball fans, on Saturday we'll be back at McAllen Memorial. So will Los Fresnos. So will Laredo Alexander, as that's just a tri-match that will be just big-time play at McAllen Memorial. Our thanks to the McAllen School District, talking with Mark May, getting the okay and the green light to go over and broadcast that. Spike across on the second hit, played by the Mustangs. So after Sanchez left, you just stuck with the Jets.
Yeah, I just stuck with the Jets because it seemed like they were heading the right way. They were heading up, and turns out I was a bit wrong about that, but it was because they also fired their head coach and got a new one who seemed, once again, like it was going to be the correct head coach and he was going to stay there for a long time. Of course, now little did I know that coach was a big bust, and now, of course, with the whole team and getting a quarterback situated, I think this year could be a good year, maybe a playoff year at the most.
So how much grief do you get in the state of Texas rooting for a team from New York?
Well, not as much as you'd think, because of course you've got the Dallas Cowboy fans, and then you got the Texan fans, and even the Patriot fans. And the Patriot fans are saying, at least you're not a fan of the Cowboys, and even though of course you're a fan of our rivals.
So because you're because you're not a fan of their rival, you're okay.
Yeah, exactly.
The Jets have no rivals here in the state of Texas that we know of.
Yeah, exactly.
Point scored for McAllen Memorial. I'm visiting with Jacob Young. He's one of our new young broadcasters. Earlier today with J.R. Gully. J.R. will have a broadcast game coming your way as he'll follow Pioneer. Sharyland Pioneer taking on PSJA Memorial on Thursday in a video game. That ball goes in the net. Sharyland scores the point. Makes it a 21-13 game. We want to again thank the school district of Sharyland for signing on, becoming one of our sponsors over last week. Still waiting all the final paperwork on that, but at this point in time, the Sharyland School District is going to be stepping in and assisting us greatly in our broadcast and showcasing both the schools of Sharyland and Pioneer. A lot of exciting things going on here, and it's just great to have schools like that step up. Same case with Brownsville, as the Brownsville School District. We had a great meeting with them last week here on Rio Sports Live. When you start talking that Sharyland joins Harlingen and Brownsville in assisting us in what we're doing here, I can't tell you how much that means to us here at Rio Sports Live. Another point for the Mustangs at McAllen Memorial, and just like that, they're up by 8 and poised to sweep this in 3 games here. Serve coming up for Macy Henderson. Gets that just across. Good play by the Rattlers to keep that ball in play. This is Martinez, blocked back at you. And a point scored for McAllen Memorial. Right now they're just dominating at the net, whether it's Fernandez, whether it's Silva. Doesn't matter who steps up at the net right now for McAllen Memorial. They have taken the wind out of the sails here at the home court. Ball at the net there, punched up by Silva. Diving play to keep it alive, and then it's over by Telementes. A high set for the Rattlers, middle to Martinez, carries it off. That's what happens when you start eyeballing those blockers. You reach back for the extra and carry it out. Now serving for the win and the sweep is Macy Henderson. Henderson gets it across. Line drive serve played by the Rattlers. High set. Spike in the net. Ball game over. Sharyland came out swinging in game 1. Kept it close. Fell 25-20. Got closer in game 2 at 25-22, but just too much firepower in the end as the McAllen Memorial Mustangs take this in 3. You're looking for players of the game in this one. I'm going to slide it to Natalie Silva. Natalie Silva gets our She Has It award. sponsored by Hacienda Ford, where Hacienda Ford, they have it. And make sure you stop in at Hacienda Ford in Edinburgh, Texas. Natalie Silva dominating at the net and being an integral part of this game from start to finish in the 3-game sweep for McAllen Memorial. For Jacob Young, who assisted us greatly in broadcasting, and fans, again, tune in because all broadcasters get their start in Game 1. He's coming off of Game 1 in football. He'll be in Game 2 this week. J.R. Gully back in the mix after years away, but he's got some radio experience and brings a quality call to the games. Any of our other broadcasters, Marco Munguia, who's now in the mix, Manny Madrano, who's assisting us in broadcasting games. All guys that stepped in and said, hey, we believe in what you're doing, and I want to get a piece of this. And the case for Jacob, the case for Eddie, trying to get experience and get a chance to do something that they've always dreamed of doing as far as a love of sports and getting to cover sports in the world of journalism. It's going to do it for our broadcast. Again, thanks for tuning in wherever you may have been tuning in from. Those tuning in from as far away as Maryland that were chiming in on this one. We're going to wrap it up. For Bert Ruiz, I'm Joe Bowling. For J.R. Gully, for Jacob Young. Till next time on Rio Sports Live. Good night.